Hello everyone, welcome to my free online tutorial for the new SAT Math section. Now the problem that you see on your screen right now is problem number 11 in Practice Exam 2, Section 3, No Calculator. And this practice test is found in the new official SAT study guide for the new SAT. Right? New SAT starts in March of 2016, so this official SAT study guide just released by College Board is meant to prepare you for the first issue of the exam, starting in March of 2016. Okay, so practice test 2, once again, problem number 11, section 3, no calculator. So it asks you which of the following complex numbers is equivalent to 3 minus 5i divided by 8 plus 2i. So now it gives you the fact that I is equal to negative 1 inside the square root. Now you know that, first of all, no negative numbers are allowed inside the square root, which is why I is a complex number, right? So a real number cannot be taken inside the square root, which is, if the real number is negative, it cannot be inside the square root, otherwise it's a complex number, right? So you know that since I is equal to negative 1 inside the radical, that means that I squared will simply be negative 1. Right? So sometimes they give you the value for the I squared, sometimes they give you the value for just I raised to the first power. Right? In any case, you will derive that I squared is equal to negative 1. Because a radical times a radical is the number inside the radical, if the numbers are in the radicals are the same. Right? It's just going to be the number itself. So now, let's see how we can simplify this. So in other words, they want you to find the equivalent, the simplified equivalent form of this given form, which is 3 minus 5i divided by x plus 2i. So the way to do that is to first multiply both the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator. And the conjugate, I mean the opposite sign of the positive, right? So that means x minus 2i will be the conjugate of the denominator. Right? So multiply the numerator and denominator by the conjugate of the denominator, which is 8 minus 2i. And when you do that, so you multiply both sides. Remember, both sides must be multiplied because 8, because these two conjugates, right, one divided by the other just produces the value of 1. Because this whole thing is multiplied by 1. And anything times anything, as long as the terms are the same, will give you the value of 1. So we can multiply this thing by anything as long as we multiply both the numerator and the denominator at the same time by anything, right? So that works. So this way we can actually get rid of the complex number on the denominator. Why? Let's see why. So the top becomes 3 times 8 using the FOIL method. 3 times 8 is 24, and then minus 6i using the FOIL method and distribution, right? Minus 6i and minus 40i, because 8 times 5 is 40. So minus 40 minus 6 is minus 46. So the net value is minus 46i for the second and third distribution in the FOIL method, right? The O and I, right, steps. And then the L step, the last step of the FOIL method is 5i, negative 5i times negative 2i. And since negative and negative is a positive, that becomes 10, but I is going to be squared, and since I squared, as we talked about earlier, is equal to negative 1, 10 becomes negative 10. So the net sign is negative, right? Even though we had two negatives, the I squared creates a third negative sign. So 3 negatives together give you a negative. Right? So 24 minus 46i minus 10 is the value in the numerator. Now the denominator is going to be 8 times 8, which is 64. And remember, minus 2i times 8 plus 2i times 8 gives you a net value of 0, right? Because they just cancel out that way. And then we're left with minus 2i times 2i. And remember, we're dealing with two negatives and not just one, because I squared gives you a negative value. So two negatives gives you a positive net value. So that's going to be plus 4. So now, as you can see, we got rid of the I in the denominator. And which makes sense already with these answer choices provided, because none of the denominators here in the answer choices have an I on them, right, with them. So they're just numbers. They're all real numbers. They're not attached to any complex number whatsoever in the denominator. So we're already closer to the truth. So now we have 68, the net value, in the denominator, and we have 24 minus 10, which is going to be 14, minus 46i. So now be careful that you still need to further simplify this fraction, and that's going to be by dividing each of these terms by 68. And you can't, while you can't really divide them out, you can simplify them by reducing them. Reduce them using the greatest common factor. Now the greatest common factor for 14 and 68 is 2, right? Because it can't be 7, because 7 doesn't go exactly into 68. So you have to take the greatest value of 2, which belongs to 68 and 14 exactly. So when you multiply 14 by 2, divide 14 by 2, you get 7, and then 68 divided by 2 is 34. So the first, and remember, you will have to separate two terms, because all answer choices here give the two terms separated, right? Even though you can combine them, because especially choices C and D you can combine, because 34 is the common numerator, so you could have combined it, but they want you to separate it to see it easier, right? So you have to separate. So 7 divided by 34 is the first term, and now the minus sign will always be there, right? Because we're subtracting. Now 46 and 68, what is the greatest common factor for them? 46, the greatest common factor is 2 again, and 68, it's also 2. Can't be anything higher than that for 46, because some of them will not go into 46 exactly, some of them will not go into 68 exactly, so 2 is the greatest common factor. So when you divide 46 by 2, you get 23, which multiplies the I, because the I is still there, it's a complex number, we cannot let it go, and 68 divided by 2 is just going to be 34. Right, so 34 is your net value, and that's exactly as the first denominator. But in any case, you still have to write it out separately. So 7 over 34 minus 23 times I divided by 34. This is your final answer. This is the simplified equivalent form of the given fraction listing the complex value, complex number inside them. Right? So, hope you found this video useful. First of all, well, what is this answer choice? 7 over 34 minus 23i over... Okay, so answer choice C is the correct answer choice, right? There's a subtraction, right? So I hope that you found this video useful. Please visit my website, revisedsat.com. I'm a professional online math tutor, and I also tutor in person. You'll see we also have other tutors that are amazing at sections 1 and 2. In sections 1 and 2 for the English sections, that is, reading tests, writing and language, alright, of the new SAT. So feel free to schedule a tutoring session with me through Skype. I teach online, and I also have a prep system that you should join if you want to do really well, because I'm a mathematician. I design my own problems, right? So I don't just teach, I also write out my own problems. And this prep system has timed exams that I prepared myself for sections 3 and 4, and lots of questions, practice questions in subcategories: geometry, trigonometry, algebra, right? All of these test categories are included, and test solutions and practice question solutions all are included in the prep system. And to join this prep system, you won't have to pay anything. It's a free trial. You can start practicing right now as we speak. Just simply go to the website, revisedsat.com, see the brief video outlining all the specifications. You will have your own user login, right, information, username and password. You will have access to the system lifetime. As long as you join it right now, you'll keep it. Okay, so see what kinds of problems I design by visiting the free blog on my website, revisedsat.com. There's a blog link on the main menu. Okay, and the practice link in the main menu will contain the video that will describe what the practice system will look like. Right, you'll get to see what your account will look like once you log in. Right, so I hope that you found this video useful. Please come back to my channel, as I will be exploring more math problems. Thank you for staying here. Take care.